Want to speak real Hindi from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HindiPod101.com.
10 words, 10 sentences which you would love to listen from others. So let's start. आज आप बहुत सुंदर दिख रहे हो. You are looking great today. Our first sentence is आज आप बहुत सुंदर दिख रहे हो. You are looking great today. Well, who will not want to listen this sentence from anyone? मुझे आपकी याद आती है. I miss you. मुझे आपकी याद आती है. I miss you. तुमने बहुत अच्छा काम किया. Which means you did a great job. तुमने बहुत अच्छा काम किया. Which means you did a great job. Well, if you have done a project or maybe you have finished an assignment and if you get to hear this, nothing like that. आप एक बहुत अच्छे बावर्ची हैं. You are an excellent cook. आप एक बहुत अच्छे बावर्ची हैं. You are an excellent cook. Well, I love to eat and I like to compliment people who cooks a great meal or who cook a lot of meals for me. Well, it's a good way of appreciating a person is putting a lot of efforts in cooking. We should appreciate that. एक ब्रेक ले लो, आज मैं सफाई करता हूँ. You take a break, I'll be doing cleaning today. एक ब्रेक ले लो, आज मैं सफाई करता हूँ. You take a break, I'll be doing cleaning today. और तुम जीत गए, and you win. Our next sentence is और तुम जीत गए, and you win. Well, every sports person would love to hear this sentence from the opposite team that you have won. That's why we play. आप ठीक कह रहे थे. You were right. आप ठीक कह रहे थे. You were right. आप ठीक कह रहे थे. You were right. मैं आपके लिए कुछ खास लाया हूँ. I have brought something special for you. मैं आपके लिए कुछ खास लाया हूँ. I have brought something special for you. Well, I'm the one who loves to get surprises from others, and whenever someone comes and says this sentence, it just gives me goosebumps. I don't know what comes, but a surprise is a surprise. Budget असीमित है, which means the budget is unlimited. Our next sentence is budget असीमित है, which means the budget is unlimited. Well, trust me, if you're a corporate guy or if you're into marketing, most of the times you get a limited budget. But imagine your manager is coming up to you and saying that this time the budget is unlimited. आपकी मेडिकल रिपोर्ट बहुत अच्छी है. Your medical report is absolutely fine. आपकी मेडिकल रिपोर्ट बहुत अच्छी है. Your medical report is absolutely fine. Just imagine you're going to a doctor and you get to hear this sentence from your doctor that you are doing pretty good, your health is pretty good. The most commonly used words in Hindi. Namaste. Hello. So our first word is namaste. So this is a very courteous way of saying hello in Hindi. So whenever we want to greet someone in Hindi, we just fold our hands and say namaste, which means hello in English. Suprabhat. Good morning. Moving on to the next word, which is suprabhat, which means good morning. Shubh Ratri. Good night. Shubh Ratri, which means good night. Shubh Sandhya. Good evening. Shubh Sandhya, which means good evening. आपका नाम क्या है? What is your name? Moving on to the next set of words, which is आपका नाम क्या है, which means in English, what is your name? मैं हूँ. I am. So to reply to this question, we can always answer like मेरा नाम अनुज खुराना है. My name is अनुज खुराना. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. Nice to meet you. आपको मिलके खुशी हुई. Nice to meet you. आप कैसे हैं? How are you? So next set of words is asking someone that how they are doing. आप कैसे हैं? How are you? जी मैं ठीक हूँ. और आप? I'm fine, thanks. And you? So to reply to this question, we can always answer like मैं ठीक हूँ. I'm fine, thank you. कृपया, please. कृपया, which means please. Whenever we are requesting someone, we always use this word कृपया. कृपया आप मुझे अपना पेन दे दीजिए. Please give me your pen. So always remember, कृपया is a very courteous way of saying please. धन्यवाद. Thank you. Our next word is thank you. धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद आपने मुझे यहाँ पर बुलाया. Thank you for inviting me here. कोई बात नहीं. You're welcome. कोई बात नहीं. Which means you're welcome. So whenever someone is saying thank you to us, like धन्यवाद in Hindi, we can always address them like कोई बात नहीं. You're welcome. हाँ. Yes. So the next word is हाँ, which means yes. हाँ मेरा नाम अनुज खुराना है. Yes, my name is Anuj Khurana. नहीं. No. So opposite to yes, the next word is no. नहीं. नहीं मैं आज डिनर नहीं खाऊंगा. No, I'm not going to have dinner tonight. ठीक है. Okay. ठीक है, which means okay in English. ठीक है, आज आप थोड़ा लेट आ जाना. Okay, you can come a bit late today. मुझे माफ कीजिएगा. Excuse me. मुझे माफ कीजिएगा. Which means excuse me. मुझे क्षमा करें. I'm sorry. मुझे क्षमा करें. Which means please forgive me. मुझे क्षमा करें. आज मैं थोड़ा लेट हूँ. Please forgive me. I'm a bit late today. शौचालय कहाँ है? Where is the restroom? शौचालय कहाँ है? Which means where is the restroom? एक मिनट रुकिए. Wait a moment. Our next set of words are एक मिनट रुकिए, which means wait a moment. एक मिनट रुकिए, मैं अभी वापस आता हूँ. Wait a moment, I'll be back. यह कितने का है? How much is this? यह कितना है? How much is it? It is like asking someone like, how much is this? How much is this number? यह कितना है? क्या मुझे चेक मिल सकता है? Can I get the check, please? क्या मुझे चेक मिल सकता है? Which means, can I get the check, please? बधाई हो. Congratulations. बधाई हो. Which means congratulations. बधाई हो आप हिंदी पॉड 101 से हिंदी सीख रहे हैं. Congratulations, you are learning Hindi from hindipod101.com. फिर मिलेंगे. See you later. फिर मिलेंगे. Which means see you again. अपना ध्यान रखिएगा. Take care. Coming to the end of this lesson, so our next word is अपना ध्यान रखिएगा, which means take care. Alvida. Goodbye. So the last word for this lesson is alvida. Goodbye. Alvida, हम जल्द ही मिलेंगे. Goodbye. We're gonna meet again.
Want to speak real Hindi from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at hindipod101.com.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, Shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the Dialogue Study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking.
एक आदमी और औरत एक रेस्टोरेंट में बैठे मेन्यू देख रहे हैं। आदमी क्या ऑर्डर करेगा?
तुम क्या लोगी?
पिज़्ज़ा बहुत अच्छा दिख रहा है। मैं सोच रही हूँ वही ऑर्डर करूँ।
मैंने कल ही पिज़्ज़ा खाया है, तो
अच्छा, तो फिर बर्गर कैसा रहेगा?
हाँ, वह ठीक रहेगा।
आदमी क्या ऑर्डर करेगा? एक आदमी और औरत एक रेस्टोरेंट में बैठे मेन्यू देख रहे हैं। आदमी क्या ऑर्डर करेगा?
तुम क्या लोगी?
पिज़्ज़ा बहुत अच्छा दिख रहा है। मैं सोच रही हूँ वही ऑर्डर करूँ।
मैंने कल ही पिज़्ज़ा खाया है, तो
अच्छा, तो फिर बर्गर कैसा रहेगा?
हाँ, वह ठीक रहेगा।
एक आदमी डॉक्टर के क्लिनिक पर फ़ोन कर रहा है। उसे डॉक्टर के क्लिनिक पर कितने बजे पहुंचना है? नमस्ते, मैं आपकी क्या मदद कर सकती हूँ?
आज क्लिनिक कितने बजे बंद होगा?
हम शाम के 6 बजे क्लिनिक बंद करते हैं, लेकिन 5:30 बजे से पहले आइए।
अच्छा, शुक्रिया।
उसे डॉक्टर के क्लिनिक पर कितने बजे पहुंचना है? एक आदमी डॉक्टर के क्लिनिक पर फ़ोन कर रहा है। उसे डॉक्टर के क्लिनिक पर कितने बजे पहुंचना है? नमस्ते, मैं आपकी क्या मदद कर सकती हूँ?
आज क्लिनिक कितने बजे बंद होगा?
हम शाम के 6 बजे क्लिनिक बंद करते हैं, लेकिन 5:30 बजे से पहले आइए।
अच्छा, शुक्रिया।
एक लड़का अपनी डायरी से पढ़ रहा है। लड़के ने दिन में सबसे पहले क्या किया?
आज मौसम बहुत अच्छा था। मैं दोपहर में पूल में तैरा और फिर शाम को पिक्चर देखने गया। मैंने पूरी सुबह पढ़ाई भी की। आज काफ़ी अच्छा दिन था।
लड़के ने दिन में सबसे पहले क्या किया? एक लड़का अपनी डायरी से पढ़ रहा है। लड़के ने दिन में सबसे पहले क्या किया?
आज मौसम बहुत अच्छा था। मैं दोपहर में पूल में तैरा और फिर शाम को पिक्चर देखने गया। मैंने पूरी सुबह पढ़ाई भी की। आज काफ़ी अच्छा दिन था।
एक महिला और आदमी एक तस्वीर देख रहे हैं। वे कौन सी तस्वीर देख रहे हैं? ये आपके बेटे की फुटबॉल टीम की तस्वीर है ना? इनमें आपका बेटा कौन है?
यह है।
अच्छा, सबसे लंबा वाला।
हाँ, वह मुझसे भी लंबा है।
वे कौन सी तस्वीर देख रहे हैं? एक महिला और आदमी एक तस्वीर देख रहे हैं। वे कौन सी तस्वीर देख रहे हैं? ये आपके बेटे की फुटबॉल टीम की तस्वीर है ना? इनमें आपका बेटा कौन है?
यह है।
अच्छा, सबसे लंबा वाला।
हाँ, वह मुझसे भी लंबा है।
Did you get it right? I hope you learned something from this quiz. Let us know if you have any questions. See you next time.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है। Hi everybody, my name is Prerna. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Hindi. In the last lesson, we learned how to show gratitude to people by saying Dhanyavad. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in India. क्या आप तैयार हैं? Are you ready? तो चलिए शुरू करें. So, let's begin. Let's start with a greeting you're sure to have heard before. Namaste. This is a word that is so closely associated with India and Indian culture that it has become famous all over the world. Namaste. Namaste. The word namaste is made out of two Sanskrit words, nama and te, which have been joined to mean I salute you. We use namaste as a formal as well as a friendly greeting. It's used when people meet at any time of the day, morning, noon, or evening. A slightly more formal variation on namaste, which you may or may not have heard before, is namaskar. Namaskar. Use this and you'll surely impress your Indian friends. In Hindi, using different greetings for each time of the day is not very common. When talking with friends, we usually just use the English phrases. But there are equivalent Hindi versions. They're just not used that often. If you meet someone before noon, you can say Suprabhat. Suprabhat. For later in the day, you can say Shubh Sandhya. Shubh Sandhya. But for most of the time, you can just say Namaste and not worry about it. As we learned in this lesson, Namaste can mean both hello and goodbye. However, this is not the only way of saying goodbye in Hindi. A parting expression that we can use for all occasions is Fir milenge, which means see you. Fir milenge. Fir milenge. The first word fir means again, and the second word milenge means we will meet. Let's look at one more expression, alvida. Alvida is an Urdu word which means goodbye. Alvida. It is an appropriate choice when parting for a long time. Now, it's time for Prerna's points. The easiest way of saying your goodbyes in Hindi is by using Namaste. Take a slight bow with folded hands and say Namaste. Namaste and Namaskar both come from Sanskrit and means something like I honor you or I bow to you. In the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं? Do you already know it? We'll be waiting to talk about it with you in our next Hindi in 3 minutes lesson. फिर मिलेंगे. नमस्ते, मेरा नाम प्रेरणा है. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. Hi, my name is Prerna. Nice to meet you. Welcome to HindiPod101.com's Hindi in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Hindi. In the last lesson, we learned how to use the verb jana, which means to go, in Hindi. In this lesson, we'll learn another very common Hindi verb. This is karna, which means to do. But as in English, you'll see that the meaning of this verb is quite broad, and it can be found in many different situations. So, imagine someone asks you, "Tum kya kar rahe ho?" This would be an informal way to ask a male, "What are you doing?" If the speaker were talking to a woman, rahe changes into rahi, and it would become, "Tum kya kar rahi ho?" So, if you're doing your work, for example, a man might say, "मैं काम कर रहा हूँ." मैं काम कर रहा हूँ. If you're a female, you'd say, मैं काम कर रही हूँ. It's the same, but the raha becomes rahi. So, let's break down this answer. First, we had मैं, which is I. Kaam, which means work. After this comes kar raha, which is a form of karna, to do. It means something like I'm doing, when said by a male. Kar rahi would be its feminine form. Who, which is the verb to be, used in the first person singular. It's something like am in English. Let's look at another example. If someone asks you to come and give him a hand, but you're preparing dinner, you can say, मैं खाना बना रहा हूँ, which literally means I'm preparing the meal. Raha changes into rahi in the first person feminine. For example, मैं खाना बना रही हूँ. For masculine and feminine plural, it changes into rahe. So it becomes हम खाना बना रहे हैं. Now it's time for Prerna's points. Did you know that karna is related to the common English word karma? Both are related to the Sanskrit word for acts or deeds. Though in English, the word is often used to express the idea that being good leads to good fortune and being bad leads to bad fortune, its original sense was closer to the modern Hindi in its meaning of to do something. In this lesson, we learn how to use the verb karna and the word raha in many different contexts. I'm sure it will help you a lot. In the next lesson, we'll learn another very useful phrase, अच्छा लगना. Do you know what this means? I'll be waiting for you with the answer in the next Hindi in 3 minutes lesson. फिर मिलेंगे. See you then.
Today we're going to talk about 4 techniques to help you stop translating in your head and instead start thinking in your target language. This will allow you to have conversations with ease, read smoothly, and better understand native speakers. These are 4 methods to help you think in a new language. Number 1, surround yourself with your target language. This way, you'll be completely immersed in the language. Without realizing it, you'll learn pronunciation, sentence structures, grammar, and new vocabulary. Play music in the background while you're cooking, or have a radio station on while you study. Just use one of our endless podcasts available to you. These are easy to listen to in the background while doing other things. Number 2, learn through observation. This is how we all learned our native languages as kids. Words will develop their own meanings that relate better to your target language, rather than meanings that are translated directly. Number 3, speak out loud to yourself. Even if you're a little embarrassed, it forces you to listen to how you speak. It makes it much easier to spot simple grammar mistakes. Number 4, practice daily. If you practice everything for only one day, you won't retain the information you learned. The brain can realistically only focus for about 30 minutes. So studying a little every day allows you to absorb better. Follow these steps and have patience. You'll soon be able to achieve your language learning goals. Just make sure to remember these 4 methods. Sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. And start learning more every day.
नमस्ते, आपका नाम क्या है?
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम मेघा है और आपका नाम क्या है?
मेरा नाम आशा है।
आशा जी, आपका नाम अच्छा है।
शुक्रिया। कमला जी, आप कैसी है?
अरे महिमा जी, मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ और आप कैसी हैं?
मैं भी ठीक हूँ, धन्यवाद।
आपका बेटा कैसा है?
वो बहुत अच्छा है, धन्यवाद। आप शाकाहारी हैं?
नहीं, मैं शाकाहारी नहीं हूँ।
तो आप मांसाहारी हैं?
जी हाँ, लेकिन मैं सिर्फ गोमांस नहीं खाती हूँ। आपकी कितनी बिल्लियाँ हैं?
मेरी एक बिल्ली है।
और कितने कुत्ते हैं?
2।
आपकी उम्र क्या है?
मैं 30 साल की हूँ।
आपके कितने बच्चे हैं?
मेरे कोई बच्चे नहीं हैं।
एक औरत एक दुकानदार से बात कर रही है। वह औरत कौन सी मंजिल पर जाएगी? माफ कीजिए, औरतों के कपड़े कहाँ पर है?
तीसरी, चौथी और पांचवी मंजिल पर।
कोट किस मंजिल पर है?
चौथी मंजिल पर। लिफ्ट वहां पर है।
चौथी मंजिल पे। धन्यवाद। वह औरत कौन सी मंजिल पर जाएगी? एक औरत एक दुकानदार से बात कर रही है। वह औरत कौन सी मंजिल पर जाएगी? माफ कीजिए, औरतों के कपड़े कहाँ पर है?
तीसरी, चौथी और पांचवी मंजिल पर।
कोट किस मंजिल पर है?
चौथी मंजिल पर। लिफ्ट वहां पर है।
चौथी मंजिल पे। धन्यवाद। एक आदमी और एक औरत बात कर रहे हैं। चाबी कहाँ है?
अपार्टमेंट की चाबी कहाँ है?
मैंने मेज पर रखी थी।
वहां नहीं है।
मेज के नीचे देखो।
नहीं है।
जेब में भी नहीं है।
ओह, यह मेरे बैग में थी।
चाबी कहाँ है? एक आदमी और एक औरत बात कर रहे हैं। चाबी कहाँ है?
अपार्टमेंट की चाबी कहाँ है?
मैंने मेज पर रखी थी।
वहां नहीं है।
मेज के नीचे देखो।
नहीं है।
जेब में भी नहीं है।
ओह, यह मेरे बैग में थी।
एक आदमी और एक औरत बात कर रहे हैं। आदमी पेंटिंग कब करता है? क्या आप हर रोज पेंटिंग करते हैं?
हाँ जी, सुबह 9 बजे से शाम के 7 बजे तक।
9 से 7 बजे तक 10 घंटे।
हाँ, आखिर यह मेरा काम है।
आदमी पेंटिंग कब करता है? एक आदमी और एक औरत बात कर रहे हैं। आदमी पेंटिंग कब करता है? क्या आप हर रोज पेंटिंग करते हैं?
हाँ जी, सुबह 9 बजे से शाम के 7 बजे तक।
9 से 7 बजे तक 10 घंटे।
हाँ, आखिर यह मेरा काम है।
10 different ways of saying hello in Hindi. So let's begin. Suprabhat, good morning. Suprabhat, Suprabhat, which means good morning. Suprabhat, आपका दिन मंगलमय हो. सुप्रभात, आपका दिन मंगलमय हो. Good morning, you have a good day ahead. Namaste, hello. Next way of saying hello is namaste. You must have seen me so many times doing this namaste. This is an Indian way of saying hello. So if you want to greet someone in Hindi, you can just say namaste. Namaste, which is an Indian version of आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. I'm happy to meet you. If you're happy meeting someone, you can just say आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. happy to meet you. और क्या हो रहा है? So, what are you up to? If you're meeting someone after long, you can just ask, और क्या हो रहा है? और क्या हो रहा है? So, what are you up to? और क्या हो रहा है? आप कैसे हैं? How are you? Another way of greeting or maybe asking someone that how they are doing, it is आप कैसे हैं? आप कैसे हैं, which means how are you? आप कैसे हैं? और सब कैसा चल रहा है? So how are things going on with you? Another version of saying hello or asking that how you are doing is और सब कैसा चल रहा है? और सब कैसा चल रहा है? So how are things going on with you? आपका दिन कैसा जा रहा है? How is your day going so far? Another way of asking that how your day is going. आपका दिन कैसा जा रहा है? आपका दिन कैसा जा रहा है? How is your day going so far? और सब कैसा चल रहा है? So, how are things with you? Another way of asking that how things are going. और सब कैसा चल रहा है? और सब कैसा चल रहा है? So, how are things with you? शुभ संध्या, good evening. शुभ संध्या. Sandhya means evening. शुभ संध्या, which means good evening. आपको मिलकर अच्छा लगा. Good to meet you. Another way of greeting each other is आपको मिलकर अच्छा लगा. आपको मिलकर अच्छा लगा. Good to meet you. 10 top language learning goals for the year. So let's begin. मैं एक दिन में 2 पाठ पढ़कर hindipod101.com की सर्वाइवल सीरीज के फ्रेजेस को खत्म कर दूंगा. I will finish off survival phrases series of hindipod101.com by listening to 2 lessons in a day. मैं एक दिन में 2 पाठ पढ़कर hindipod101.com की सर्वाइवल सीरीज के फ्रेजेस को खत्म कर दूंगा. I will finish off survival phrases series of hindipod101.com by listening to 2 lessons in a day. मैं एक दिन में 10 पृष्ठों को पढ़कर एक हिंदी की किताब को पूरा कर दूंगा. I will finish off reading a Hindi book by reading 10 pages in a day. Well, that's going to be quite interesting. If you're learning Hindi and side by side you're reading books, nothing better than that. मैं अपनी हिंदी की परीक्षा को उत्तीर्ण करूंगा. I will pass my Hindi exam. Well, all the best for that. Keep learning new languages and keep moving ahead. मैं एक हिंदी फिल्म को रोजाना देखकर उसे पूरी तरह से समझ जाऊंगा. I will understand a Hindi film completely by watching it daily. Well, let me tell you, Bollywood films, Hindi films are so much of drama, so much of romance, so much of thrill. You will not get bored at all. And a suggestion for you all, you can also watch them with subtitles. I always do that with foreign language. It will help you learning new phrases, new expressions and new sentences. मैं अपने हिंदी भाषी दोस्तों को अपना परिचय 3 मिनट में हिंदी में दूंगा. I will give an introductory speech of myself in Hindi for 3 minutes to my native Hindi friends. मैं अपने हिंदी भाषी दोस्तों को अपना परिचय 3 मिनट में हिंदी में दूंगा. I will give an introductory speech of myself in Hindi for 3 minutes to my native Hindi friends. मैं 5 हिंदी गानों को याद करूंगा. I will memorize 5 Hindi songs. Well, that's an interesting way of learning Hindi. You can read the lyrics and you can listen to the song again and again, and eventually you will memorize the song. मैं अपने हिंदी भाषी दोस्तों को 10 पोस्ट कार्ड हिंदी में लिखकर भेजूंगा. I will send 10 postcards in Hindi to my native Hindi friends. मैं अपने हिंदी भाषी दोस्तों को 10 पोस्टकार्ड हिंदी में लिखकर भेजूंगा. I will send 10 postcards in Hindi to my native Hindi friends. मैं hindipod101.com पर फ्लैश कार्ड के माध्यम से 350 नए शब्दों को याद करूंगा. I will memorize 350 new words with the help of flashcard on hindipod101.com. You all can also do that. You can also memorize 350 new Hindi words by using flashcards. मैं हिंदी बोलने वाले लोगों से हफ्ते में कई बार बात करूंगा. I will speak to Hindi native speakers several times a week. Again, by doing that, you will increase your vocabulary, you will become fluent and you will become more confident in Hindi. मैं रोजाना 5 शब्दों को याद कर 150 नए शब्द सीखूंगा. I will learn 150 new words by learning 5 new words a day. Again, a very good way of learning words. Maybe you're not learning too many words in a day, but 5 words a day is quite good. 10 ideas of gifts you should know in Hindi. So let's start. Itra, perfume. Itra, which means perfume. महिलाएं अपने ऊपर इत्र लगा रही है. That woman is putting on perfume. किताब, book. किताब, which means a book. यह किताब आपके लिए है. This book is for you. दुनिया का नक्शा, world map. दुनिया का नक्शा, which means world's map. यात्रा के दौरान दुनिया का नक्शा बहुत काम आता है. During our travels, the world map comes very handy. Camera is camera in Hindi too? Yes. The next word is camera, and again in Hindi there is no such word for camera, so it is pronounced as camera in Hindi as well. मैंने अपने लिए एक नया कैमरा खरीदा. I bought a new camera for myself. Same goes for smartphone. It's known as smartphone in Hindi. Smartphone. And yet again, there's no specific word for smartphone as well, and we use smartphone only in Hindi also. आजकल हर किसी के पास एक स्मार्टफोन है. Today, everyone is using a smartphone. Game console, game console. So next word is game console. Again, there is no such specific word for game console in Hindi, so we use game console only in Hindi as well. मैंने अपने दोस्त को एक नया गेम कंसोल गिफ्ट किया. I've gifted a new gaming console to my friend. शब्दकोश, dictionary. शब्दकोश, which means dictionary. मेरे पास एक हिंदी फ्रेंच शब्दकोश है. I have a Hindi French dictionary with me. भारत के लिए एक उड़ान, a flight to India. भारत के लिए उड़ान, which means a flight to India. मेरे दोस्त ने भारत के लिए उड़ान भरी. My friend has taken a flight to India. घड़ी, watch. घड़ी, which means a watch. आज मेरी घड़ी चलना बंद हो गई. Today, my watch has stopped working. हार, necklace. हार, which means a necklace. उस औरत ने एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत हार पहना हुआ है. That woman is wearing a very beautiful necklace. 10 must words of autumn vocabulary. So let's begin. Sweater is sweater. Our first word is sweater. So sweater is known as sweater in Hindi also. There's no alternate word for sweater in Hindi. उस महिला ने काला स्वेटर पहना हुआ है. That woman is wearing a black sweater. बरसाती, rainy day. Our next word is बरसाती दिन, which means rainy days. मुझे बरसात के दिनों में खेलना बहुत पसंद है. I love playing in rainy days. तूफानी, windy. Our next word is तूफानी दिन, which means a windy day. कल का दिन बहुत ही तूफानी और ठंडा होगा, इसलिए अपना स्कार्फ पहने. Tomorrow is going to be a very windy and cold day, so please wear your scarf. Thanda, cool. Our next word is cool. Cool, ठंडा. आजकल दिन का समय बहुत गर्म और रात का समय ठंडा होता है. These days are very warm and nights are very cold. पतझड़, autumn. Our next word is पतझड़, which means autumn. पतझड़ सभी मौसमों में सबसे सुंदर होता है. Out of all the seasons, autumn is most beautiful. Halloween, Halloween. Our next word is Halloween, which is also known as Halloween in Hindi. Halloween का त्योहार अक्टूबर के महीने में मनाया जाता है. The festival of Halloween is celebrated in month of October. सुनहरी पत्तियां, golden leaves. Our next words are सुनहरी पत्तियां, which means golden leaves. पतझड़ में सभी पत्तियां सुनहरे रंग की हो जाती हैं. All leaves turn golden in autumn. लंबी आस्तीन की shirt, long sleeve shirt. Moving on to the next words, which are लंबी आस्तीन की shirt, which means a long sleeved shirt. धूप से बचने के लिए हमें लंबी आस्तीन की शर्ट पहननी चाहिए. To protect us from sun, we should wear a full sleeved shirt. पत्ते झड़ना, falling leaves. पत्तियां झड़ना, which means falling leaves. पतझड़ में पत्तियां झड़ना एक आम दृश्य है. Falling leaves are a common sight in autumn. Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. Moving on to the next word, which is Thanksgiving, which is also known as Thanksgiving in Hindi. So Thanksgiving in Hindi, Thanksgiving in English. Thanksgiving नवंबर के महीने में मनाया जाता है. Thanksgiving is celebrated in the month of November. 10 phrases which are going to help you going back to school. So what are we waiting for? Let's begin. Backpack is known as backpack. So our first word is backpack. Backpack, it is same in Hindi also. Backpack in English, backpack in Hindi. राहुल अपने बैकपैक में पेंसिल, कागज और किताबें ले जाता है. Rahul carries his book, pencils and papers in his backpack. So backpack in English, backpack in Hindi also. Sahpati, classmate. Sahpati, which means classmate. Sara विद्यापीठ में मेरी सहपाठी थी. Sara was my classmate in the university. Greh karya, homework. So moving on to the next word, which is greh karya. Greh karya, which means homework. मैंने अपना सारा गृह कार्य खत्म कर लिया है. I finished my homework. Pariksha, exam. Our next word is pariksha. Pariksha, which means exam. कल तुम्हारी परीक्षा है, इसलिए पढ़ाई कर लो. Please study as tomorrow is your exam. गर्मी की छुट्टी, summer break. गर्मियों की छुट्टियां, which means summer vacation. मुझे गर्मियों की छुट्टियां बहुत पसंद हैं. I like summer vacations. But I think it's not just me who used to love summer vacations during my school days, but I think everyone loves them, isn't it? So गर्मियों की छुट्टियां, summer vacation. विद्यालय, school. Our next word here is विद्यालय. विद्यालय, which means school. मैं हर रोज विद्यालय जाता हूँ. I go to school every day. पढ़ाई करना, to study. Our next phrase is पढ़ाई करना. पढ़ाई करना, which means to study. मैं हर रोज पढ़ाई करने के लिए 4 बजे उठता हूँ. I get up every day at 4 to study. आज कक्षा का पहला दिन है. It's the first day of class. So next phrase is आज कक्षा का पहला दिन है. Today is first day of the class. अब कौन सी कक्षाएं ले रहे हैं? What classes are you taking? Our next phrase is आप कौन सी कक्षाएं ले रहे हैं? Which classes are you taking? आपका प्रमुख विषय क्या है? What is your major? So next phrase is आपका प्रमुख विषय क्या है? What is your major? 20 words you will need for the beach. So let's start. Our first word is धूप का चश्मा, sunglasses. धूप का चश्मा, धूप का चश्मा, which means sunglasses. यह मेरा नया धूप का चश्मा है. These are my new sunglasses. समुद्र तट, beach. Moving on to the next word, which is समुद्र तट. समुद्र तट, which means beach. मुझे समुद्र तट पर जाना बहुत पसंद है. I love going to the beach. तैराकी, swimming. So next word is तैराकी. तैराकी, which means swimming. तैराकी एक बहुत ही अच्छा व्यायाम है. Swimming is a very good exercise. तैराकी, swimming. सूरज और सूर्य, sun. सूरज, सूरज और सूर्य, which means sun. हिंदू सूर्य भगवान की पूजा करते हैं. Hindus worship sun god. सूर्य और सूरज, which means sun. ताड़ का वृक्ष, palm tree. Our next words are ताड़ का वृक्ष. ताड़ का वृक्ष, which means palm trees. केरला में ताड़ का वृक्ष एक आम दृश्य है. Palm trees are a common sight in Kerala. ताड़ का वृक्ष, palm trees. Seep, seashell. Our next word is seep. Seep, which means seashell. सजावट के लिए सीप को इकट्ठा किया जाता है. Seashells are collected for decoration. Swimming suit, swimming suit. Moving on to the next word, which is swimming suit, which is also known as swimming suit in Hindi. तैराकी के लिए swimming suit होना जरूरी है. A swimming suit is a must for swimming. महासागर, ocean. Moving on to the next word, which is महासागर. महासागर, which means ocean. शार्क मछली महासागर में तैर रही है. The sharks are swimming in the ocean. Mahasagar, ocean. Lifeguard, lifeguard. Our next word is lifeguard, which is also known as lifeguard in Hindi. Lifeguard समुद्र तट पर सुरक्षा के लिए तैनात हैं. Lifeguards are stationed at beach for the protection of people. Lifeguard in Hindi, lifeguard in English. Jet ski is also known as jet ski. Our next word is jet ski, which is again same in Hindi, jet ski. समुद्र तट पर मनोरंजन की गतिविधियों में से एक गतिविधि है jet skiing. Out of many fun activities at beach, jet skiing is one of them. So jet skiing in Hindi, jet skiing in English also. समुद्र तट तौलिया, beach towel. समुद्र तट तौलिया, which means a beach towel. समुद्र तट तौलिया. आपके पास एक समुद्र तट तौलिया होना अनिवार्य है. Is it a must for you to have a beach towel? समुद्र तट पर लगी कुर्सी, beach chair. Our next word is समुद्र तट कुर्सी, which is a beach chair. मेरे पास खुद की एक समुद्र तट कुर्सी है. I have my own beach chair. Ice cream is also known as ice cream. Our next word is ice cream, which is also known as ice cream in Hindi. मुझे आइसक्रीम खाना बहुत पसंद है. I love eating ice cream. रेत का महल, sand castle. Our next word is रेत का महल. रेत का महल, which means sand castle. बच्चों को रेत का महल बनाना बहुत पसंद है. Kids like to make sand castle. रेत का महल, sand castle. ज्वार, tide. Our next word is ज्वार. ज्वार, which means tide. दोपहर के समय समुद्र में ज्वार रहता है. It is a high tide time during afternoon in the sea. ज्वार, tide. धूप से तपन, tan. Moving on to the next word, which is धूप से तपन. धूप से तपन, which means tan in English. उसे धूप का तपन बहुत पसंद है. She likes getting tan in the sun. Snorkeling, snorkeling. Our next word is snorkeling, which means snorkeling in Hindi too. Snorkeling एक बहुत ही प्रमुख गतिविधि है. Snorkeling is a very famous activity. Snorkeling in Hindi, snorkeling in English too. Chappal, flip, flop. Our next word is chappal. Chappal, which means flip flops. गर्मियों में चप्पल काफी आरामदायक होती है. In summers, flip flops are very comfortable. So chappal, flip flops. Sunscreen is known as sunscreen in Hindi. Our next word is sunscreen, which is again sunscreen in Hindi also. गर्मियों में sunscreen अनिवार्य है. Sunscreens are must in summers. So sunscreen in Hindi, sunscreen in English too. Samundra, sea. Our next word is samundra. Samundra, which means sea. उसे समुद्र से बहुत डर लगता है. He's very afraid of sea. Samundra, sea. 10 things to do in India in summer. So let's begin. विदेश यात्रा, travel abroad. मैं अपनी पहली विदेश यात्रा में सिंगापुर गया था. I traveled to Singapore for my first foreign visit. समुद्र किनारे आराम करना, to relax at the beach. गर्मियों के दौरान सब लोग समुद्र किनारे आराम करने जाते हैं. During summer, everyone goes to beach to relax. Well, this is one of my favorite things which I do during summers because it's too hot here. Whenever I get time, I just go to the beach and just relax there. So next sentence is barbecue करना, to have a barbecue. Barbecue करने के लिए किन किन चीज़ों की ज़रूरत है? What all ingredients and supplies are required to do barbecue? सारी रात पार्टी करना, to party all night. मैं अपने जन्म दिवस पर सारी रात पार्टी करूँगा. I'm going to do party all night on my birthday. Well, yes, I know everyone wants to do that, and we should do that because that's one day where we should just forget about everything and just party. Next set of sentence is सूरज की रोशनी में tan करना, to get a tan. सब लोग सूरज की रोशनी में tan कर रहे हैं. Everyone is getting a tan at the beach. लंबी पैदल यात्रा पर जाना, to go on a hiking. हम सब पहाड़ों में लंबी पैदल यात्रा पर जाएंगे. We all will go for a hike in the mountains. I think this is the best thing to do in the summers. Just go out, go in the mountains and just keep yourself away from the heat. Isn't it? दोस्तों के साथ मजे करना, to have fun with friends. नेहा अपने दोस्तों के साथ मजे करने के लिए बाहर गई है. Neha has gone out with her friends to have fun. अशंकालिक नौकरी करना, टू डू अ पार्ट टाइम जॉब। मैंने अपने विद्यार्थी जीवन में बहुत सारे अशंकालिक नौकरी की हैं। During my student days, I have done a lot of part-time jobs. There's nothing wrong in doing that because by doing this, you're making some money, and by doing that, you can just have fun with your friends. गर्मियों के स्कूल में हिस्सा लेना, to attend summer school, वह गर्मियों के स्कूल में कुछ अच्छे पाठ पढ़ रही है। She's learning some good courses in the summer school. I know during summer vacations or summer holidays, we want to avoid school, but again, it's a good thing. If you want, you can just go and attend a summer school. Coming towards the end of this lesson, our last sentence is घर में रहकर इंटरनेट का इस्तेमाल करना, to stay inside and browse the internet. अगर तुम घर में रहकर इंटरनेट का इस्तेमाल करोगे तो तुम बाहर के मौसम का मज़ा नहीं ले पाओगे। If you just stay inside and keep browsing the internet, you will not be able to enjoy the weather outside. I know these days we all are too much engrossed in social media, internet, but we can just keep these things aside and enjoy weather at times. 10 most commonly used words which are related to travel, tourism, and which will be very handy for those people who loves traveling. So let's begin. Ticket, which is again ticket in English as well. अंदर जाने के लिए टिकट लेना जरूरी है। अंदर जाने के लिए टिकट लेना जरूरी है। It is necessary to buy a ticket to go inside. Next word is पर्यटक, पर्यटक which means tourist. हर साल ताजमहल को देखने के लिए बहुत सारे पर्यटक आते हैं। हर साल ताजमहल को देखने के लिए बहुत सारे पर्यटक आते हैं। Every year, a lot of tourists come to see Taj Mahal. Our next word is yatra kram. Yatra kram, which means itinerary. ये आज का यात्रा क्रम है। ये आज का यात्रा क्रम है। This is today's itinerary. Another word is guidebook, which is called as guidebook in English as well. यात्रा के दौरान गाइडबुक काफी सहायक सिद्ध होती है। यात्रा के दौरान गाइडबुक काफी सहायक सिद्ध होती है। Guidebook comes very handy during travel. Tour bus, again it's tour bus in English. बहुत सारे पर्यटकों को एक साथ ले जाने के लिए टूर बस सहायक होती है। बहुत सारे यात्रियों को एक साथ ले जाने के लिए टूर बस सहायक होती है। Tour bus comes very handy while a lot of tourists are traveling together. Mandir, which means temple. Mandir, temple. सब लोग मंदिर में पूजा करने जाते हैं। सब लोग मंदिर में पूजा करने जाते हैं। Everyone goes to temple to worship. Mahal, palace. Mahal, which means palace. Mahal. राजा महलों में रहते थे। राजा महलों में रहते थे। Kings used to live in palaces. गिरजाघर, गिरजाघर, चर्च। गोवा के गिरजाघर बहुत ही सुंदर हैं। गोवा के गिरजाघर बहुत ही सुंदर हैं। Churches of Goa are very beautiful. झरना, झरना, which means waterfall. वह बहुत ही खूबसूरत झरना है। वह बहुत ही खूबसूरत झरना है। That is a very beautiful waterfall. So the next word or phrase is सैर करना, which means tour. व्हाइट हाउस की सैर करना बहुत ही मनोरंजक है. व्हाइट हाउस की सैर करना बहुत ही मनोरंजक है. The tour of White House is very entertaining.
Want to speed up your language learning? Get access to all of our best PDF cheat sheets for free. Just click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now.
Sign here, please.
कृपया यहाँ साइन कीजिए. कृपया यहाँ साइन कीजिए.
I'd like to make a deposit.
मैं पैसे जमा करना चाहती हूँ. मैं पैसे जमा करना चाहती हूँ.
Go back.
वापस जाओ. वापस जाओ.
Are there any annual charges with this account?
क्या इस खाते पर कोई सालाना चार्ज है? क्या इस खाते पर कोई सालाना चार्ज है?
I'd like to open an account.
मैं एक खाता खोलना चाहती हूँ. मैं एक खाता खोलना चाहती हूँ.
Can I have a receipt, please?
क्या मुझे रसीद मिल सकती है? क्या मुझे रसीद मिल सकती है?
Can I have a bag, please?
क्या एक बैग मिलेगा? क्या एक बैग मिलेगा?
I'll take one of this.
मुझे यह एक चाहिए. मुझे यह एक चाहिए.
What's that?
वो क्या है? वो क्या है?
What's this?
यह क्या है? यह क्या है?
Can you come back later?
क्या आप बाद में आ सकते हो? क्या आप बाद में आ सकते हो?
Sorry, we're completely booked.
सॉरी, बुकिंग फुल है. सॉरी, बुकिंग फुल है.
I'm afraid I can't make it.
मुझे अफसोस है पर मैं नहीं आ पाऊंगी. मुझे अफसोस है पर मैं नहीं आ पाऊंगी.
I forgive you.
मैं आपको माफ़ करती हूँ. मैं आपको माफ़ करती हूँ.
And you?
और आप? और आप?
I'm fine.
मैं ठीक हूँ. मैं ठीक हूँ.
Good night.
शुभ रात्रि. शुभ रात्रि.
Good afternoon.
नमस्ते. नमस्ते.
Bye-bye.
बाय बाय. बाय बाय.
It takes about 30 minutes by train.
ट्रेन से लगभग 30 मिनट लगते हैं. ट्रेन से लगभग 30 मिनट लगते हैं.
I want a bottle of water.
मुझे पानी के लिए एक बोतल चाहिए. मुझे पानी के लिए एक बोतल चाहिए.
I live in Los Angeles.
मैं लॉस एंजलिस में रहती हूँ. मैं लॉस एंजलिस में रहती हूँ.
My vacation starts in 2 weeks.
मेरी छुट्टी 2 सप्ताह में शुरू हो जाएगी. मेरी छुट्टी 2 सप्ताह में शुरू हो जाएगी.
I've changed.
मैं बदल गई हूँ। मैं बदल गई हूँ।
I won't do it again.
मैं दोबारा नहीं करूँगा। मैं दोबारा नहीं करूँगा।
This weekend I'm going to the movies.
इस सप्ताह अंत मैं फिल्म देखने जा रही हूँ। इस सप्ताह अंत मैं फिल्म देखने जा रही हूँ।
What are you doing this weekend?
तुम इस सप्ताह अंत क्या कर रहे हो? तुम इस सप्ताह अंत क्या कर रहे हो?
I'll have time next week.
मेरे पास अगले सप्ताह समय होगा। मेरे पास अगले सप्ताह समय होगा।
I'm busy this week.
मैं इस सप्ताह व्यस्त हूँ। मैं इस सप्ताह व्यस्त हूँ।
You're handsome.
तुम सुंदर हो। तुम सुंदर हो।
I love you.
मैं तुमसे प्यार करता हूँ। मैं तुमसे प्यार करता हूँ।
I'm having a great time.
मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है।
Would you like to dance?
तुम नाचना चाहोगे? तुम नाचना चाहोगे?
Where do you want to go?
तुम कहाँ जाना चाहते हो? तुम कहाँ जाना चाहते हो?
You look great.
तुम बहुत अच्छी लग रही हो। तुम बहुत अच्छी लग रही हो।
Do you like it?
तुम्हें यह पसंद है? तुम्हें यह पसंद है?
It looks great.
यह बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। यह बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है।
I have no money.
मेरे पास पैसे नहीं हैं। मेरे पास पैसे नहीं हैं।
I want to go here.
मैं यहाँ जाना चाहती हूँ। मैं यहाँ जाना चाहती हूँ।
I'm looking for this place.
मैं इस जगह के लिए देख रही हूँ। मैं इस जगह के लिए देख रही हूँ।
Does this hurt?
क्या यह दुखता है? क्या यह दुखता है?
I have a cough.
मुझे खांसी है। मुझे खांसी है।
I have a stomach ache.
मुझे पेट दर्द है। मुझे पेट दर्द है।
I have a headache.
मुझे सिर दर्द है। मुझे सिर दर्द है।
I have a fever.
मुझे बुखार है। मुझे बुखार है।
It's already full.
यह पहले से ही भरी हुई है। यह पहले से ही भरी हुई है।
About 2 weeks.
लगभग 2 हफ्ते। लगभग 2 हफ्ते।
Is there something wrong?
क्या कुछ गड़बड़ है? क्या कुछ गड़बड़ है?
I'm here to visit family.
मैं यहाँ परिवार से मिलने आई हूँ। मैं यहाँ परिवार से मिलने आई हूँ।
I'm here on business.
मैं काम से यहाँ हूँ। मैं काम से यहाँ हूँ।
I'll stay at the Central Hotel.
मैं सेंट्रल होटल में रहूँगी। मैं सेंट्रल होटल में रहूँगी।
Have you ever been here before?
क्या आप यहाँ कभी पहले गए हैं? क्या आप यहाँ कभी पहले गए हैं?
It will snow on Friday.
शुक्रवार को बर्फ पड़ेगी। शुक्रवार को बर्फ पड़ेगी।
Want to speak real Hindi from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HindiPod101.com. I'm sorry.
मुझे क्षमा करें। मुझे क्षमा करें।
Don't worry.
चिंता न करें। चिंता न करें।
It's okay.
ये ठीक है। ये ठीक है।
Please.
कृपया। कृपया।
Please forgive me.
कृपया मुझे क्षमा कीजिए। कृपया मुझे क्षमा कीजिए।
I really appreciate it.
वास्तव में मैं इसकी सराहना करती हूँ। वास्तव में मैं इसकी सराहना करती हूँ।
Thank you.
धन्यवाद। धन्यवाद।
You're welcome.
कोई बात नहीं। कोई बात नहीं।
Make yourself at home.
आराम से बैठिए। आराम से बैठिए।
Hello.
नमस्ते। नमस्ते।
Good morning.
सुप्रभात। सुप्रभात।
Goodbye.
अलविदा। अलविदा।
Long time no see.
बहुत दिनों से मुलाकात नहीं हुई। बहुत दिनों से मुलाकात नहीं हुई।
Good evening.
शुभ संध्या। शुभ संध्या।
Sorry to keep you waiting.
माफ करना, आपको इंतजार करना पड़ा। माफ करना, आपको इंतजार करना पड़ा।
Wait a moment.
यात्रा के लिए। यात्रा के लिए।
Hello?
व्यस्त फोन लाइन। व्यस्त फोन लाइन।
Awesome.
बहुत प्रभावशाली। बहुत प्रभावशाली।
Delicious.
स्वादिष्ट। स्वादिष्ट।
I like it.
मुझे यह पसंद है। मुझे यह पसंद है।
I don't like it.
मुझे ये पसंद नहीं है। मुझे ये पसंद नहीं है।
How are you?
आप कैसे हैं? आप कैसे हैं?
Nice to meet you.
आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई। आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई।
I'm good.
मैं अच्छी हूँ। मैं अच्छी हूँ।
What time is it?
कितने बजे हैं? कितने बजे हैं?
Help.
मदद करो मदद करो
Really?
सच में सच में
Slower, please.
कृपया धीरे धीरे कृपया धीरे धीरे
I don't understand.
मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा
Once again, please.
कृपया एक बार फिर से कृपया एक बार फिर से
It's difficult.
यह कठिन है यह कठिन है
How have you been?
आप कैसे हैं आप कैसे हैं
This is for you.
यह आपके लिए है यह आपके लिए है
What's your phone number?
आपका फ़ोन नंबर क्या है आपका फ़ोन नंबर क्या है
How old are you?
आपकी उम्र कितनी है आपकी उम्र कितनी है
Where are you from?
आप कहाँ से हो आप कहाँ से हो
What is it?
वह क्या है वह क्या है
Do you have any identification?
क्या आपके पास कोई पहचान पत्र है क्या आपके पास कोई पहचान पत्र है
Ready to start?
क्या आप तैयार हो क्या आप तैयार हो
We'll give you a call.
हम आपको कॉल करेंगे हम आपको कॉल करेंगे
I'll leave it up to you.
आपको जैसे ठीक लगे आपको जैसे ठीक लगे
Is the water too cold?
क्या पानी बहुत ठंडा है क्या पानी बहुत ठंडा है
Is this your first time with us?
क्या आप यहाँ पहली बार आ रहे हैं क्या आप यहाँ पहली बार आ रहे हैं
It takes 3 to 5 business days.
3 से 5 व्यावसायिक दिन लगेंगे 3 से 5 व्यावसायिक दिन लगेंगे
Could I have a statement, please?
क्या एक स्टेटमेंट मिल सकता है क्या एक स्टेटमेंट मिल सकता है
I'd like to exchange money.
मैं पैसे एक्सचेंज करना चाहती हूँ मैं पैसे एक्सचेंज करना चाहती हूँ
I'd like to make a withdrawal.
मैं पैसे निकालना चाहती हूँ मैं पैसे निकालना चाहती हूँ
In this video, you will learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in Hindi. Hi everybody, my name is Venus. Welcome to the 800 Core Hindi Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in Hindi. But there's a twist. With each new lesson in this series, we will include the previous lesson at the end. So after you learn the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important parts of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at hindipod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master Hindi. Okay, let's get started. First is namaste. Hello. Namaste. Namaste. Hello. लोगों ने नमस्ते कहा. The people said hello. लोगों ने नमस्ते कहा. कृपया. Please. कृपया. Please. कृपया. Please. कृपया थोड़ी देर इंतजार करें. Please wait for a moment. कृपया थोड़ी देर इंतजार करें. माफ कीजिए. I'm sorry. माफ कीजिए. माफ कीजिए. I'm sorry. माफ कीजिए, वह अभी यहाँ नहीं है. I'm sorry, he is not here right now. माफ कीजिए, वह अभी यहाँ नहीं है. शुभ रात्रि. Good night. शुभ रात्रि. शुभ रात्रि. Good night. शुभ रात्रि दोस्तों. Good night my friends. शुभ रात्रि दोस्तों. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. Nice to meet you. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. Nice to meet you. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई सर. Nice to meet you sir. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई सर. आप कैसे हैं? How are you? आप कैसे हैं? आप कैसे हैं? How are you? नमस्कार, आप कैसे हैं? Hello, how are you? नमस्कार, आप कैसे हैं? हाँ. Yes. हाँ. हाँ. Yes. जी हाँ, मैं ये करूँगा. Yes, I'll do it. जी हाँ, मैं ये करूँगा. नहीं. No. नहीं. नहीं. No. नहीं, धन्यवाद. No, thanks. नहीं, धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद. Thank you. धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद. Thank you. मेरी मदद करने के लिए धन्यवाद. Thank you for helping me. मेरी मदद करने के लिए धन्यवाद. मैं हूँ. I'm. मैं हूँ. मैं हूँ. I'm. मैं जॉन हूँ. I'm जॉन. मैं जॉन हूँ. अलविदा. Goodbye. Alvida. Alvida. Goodbye. अलविदा कहना मुश्किल होता है. It's hard to say goodbye. अलविदा कहना मुश्किल होता है. बुरा. Bad. बुरा. बुरा. Bad. वह आदमी बुरा है. That man is bad. वह आदमी बुरा है. अच्छा. Good. अच्छा. अच्छा. Good. सब्जियां आपके लिए अच्छी होती हैं. Vegetables are good for you. सब्जियां आपके लिए अच्छी होती हैं. खूबसूरत. Pretty. खूबसूरत. खूबसूरत. Pretty. आप बहुत खूबसूरत हैं. You are very pretty. आप बहुत खूबसूरत हैं. बदसूरत. Ugly. बदसूरत. बदसूरत. Ugly. वह एक बहुत बदसूरत कुत्ता है. That is a very ugly dog. वह एक बहुत बदसूरत कुत्ता है. आसान. Easy. आसान. आसान. Easy. अंग्रेजी आसान है. English is easy. अंग्रेजी आसान है. कठिन. Difficult. कठिन. कठिन. Difficult. बुधवार की परीक्षा कठिन होगी. Wednesday's test will be difficult. बुधवार की परीक्षा कठिन होगी. पास. Near. पास. पास. Near. मैं विश्वविद्यालय के पास रहता हूँ. I live near the university. मैं विश्वविद्यालय के पास रहता हूँ. दूर. Far. दूर. दूर. Far. स्टेशन यहाँ से दूर है. The station is far from here. स्टेशन यहाँ से दूर है. छोटा. Small. छोटा. छोटा. Small. कार छोटी है लेकिन बहुत शक्तिशाली है. The car is small but it's very powerful. कार छोटी है लेकिन बहुत शक्तिशाली है. Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at hindipod101.com to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversations. You will also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time. Alvida.
Want to speed up your language learning? Get access to all of our best PDF cheat sheets for free. Just click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now.
A table for 5.
5 के लिए एक मेज. 5 के लिए एक मेज.
Absolutely.
बिल्कुल. बिल्कुल.
All right.
ठीक है, ठीक है.
Are you all right?
क्या तुम ठीक हो? क्या तुम ठीक हो?
Are you on Facebook?
क्या आप फेसबुक पर हैं? क्या आप फेसबुक पर हैं?
Awesome.
बहुत प्रभावशाली. बहुत प्रभावशाली.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Can I borrow this?
क्या मैं यह थोड़ी देर के लिए ले सकता हूं? क्या मैं यह थोड़ी देर के लिए ले सकता हूं?
Can I have a bag, please?
क्या एक बैग मिलेगा? क्या एक बैग मिलेगा?
Can I have a receipt, please?
क्या मुझे रसीद मिल सकती है? क्या मुझे रसीद मिल सकती है?
Can I sit here?
क्या मैं यहां बैठ सकता हूं? क्या मैं यहां बैठ सकता हूं?
Can I try it on?
क्या मैं इसे पहनकर देख सकता हूं? क्या मैं इसे पहनकर देख सकता हूं?
Can you download this file?
क्या आप इस फाइल को डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं? क्या आप इस फाइल को डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं?
Check.
जांच करें. जांच करें.
Congratulations.
बधाई हो. बधाई हो.
Could I have your attention, please?
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए. कृपया ध्यान दीजिए.
Delicious.
स्वादिष्ट. स्वादिष्ट.
Do you need anything?
क्या आपको कुछ चाहिए? क्या आपको कुछ चाहिए?
Do you speak English?
क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं? क्या आप अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं?
Do you understand?
क्या आप समझते हैं? क्या आप समझते हैं?
Does this bus go to?
क्या ये बस को जाती है? क्या ये बस को जाती है?
Don't do it.
ऐसा मत करो. ऐसा मत करो.
Don't mention it.
शुक्रिया बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. शुक्रिया बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Don't worry.
चिंता न करें. चिंता न करें.
Everything is great.
सब कुछ बहुत बढ़िया है. सब कुछ बहुत बढ़िया है.
Excuse me, do you know where the is?
माफ कीजिए. क्या आप बता सकते हैं कि कहाँ है? माफ कीजिए. क्या आप बता सकते हैं कि कहाँ है?
Excuse me.
क्षमा करें क्षमा करें
Go straight ahead.
सीधे चले जाइए सीधे चले जाइए
Good afternoon.
नमस्ते नमस्ते
Good evening.
शुभ संध्या शुभ संध्या
Good morning.
सुप्रभात सुप्रभात
Good night.
शुभ रात्रि शुभ रात्रि
Goodbye.
अलविदा अलविदा
Happy birthday.
जन्मदिन मुबारक हो जन्मदिन मुबारक हो
Hello.
नमस्ते नमस्ते
Help.
मदद करो मदद करो
Hi.
नमस्ते नमस्ते
Hold on.
रुको रुको
How are you?
आप कैसे हैं आप कैसे हैं
How do I get to the?
मैं तक कैसे पहुंच सकता हूं मैं तक कैसे पहुंच सकता हूं
How do you do?
आप कैसे हैं आप कैसे हैं
How do you pronounce this?
इसका उच्चारण कैसे करते हैं इसका उच्चारण कैसे करते हैं
How have you been?
आप कैसे हैं आप कैसे हैं
How is it?
यह कैसा है यह कैसा है
How is your mother?
आपकी मां कैसी है आपकी मां कैसी है
How long will you stay?
आप कब तक रहने वाले हैं आप कब तक रहने वाले हैं
How many people are there in your family?
आपके परिवार में कितने लोग हैं आपके परिवार में कितने लोग हैं
How much is it to?
तक के लिए कितना तक के लिए कितना
How much is this?
यह कितने का है यह कितने का है
How much?
कितना हुआ कितना हुआ
How old are you?
आपकी उम्र क्या है आपकी उम्र क्या है
How was your day?
आपका दिन कैसा था आपका दिन कैसा था
How's the weather?
मौसम कैसा है मौसम कैसा है
Hurry up.
जल्दी करो जल्दी करो
I don't like it.
मुझे ये पसंद नहीं है मुझे ये पसंद नहीं है
I don't understand.
मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा
I like it.
मुझे यह पसंद है मुझे यह पसंद है।
I live in.
मैं में रहता हूँ। मैं में रहता हूँ।
I lost my phone.
मेरा फोन खो गया था। मेरा फोन खो गया था।
I need.
मुझे चाहिए। मुझे चाहिए।
I need to go to the.
मुझे जाना होगा। मुझे जाना होगा।
I understand.
मैं समझ गया। मैं समझ गया।
I'd like this.
मुझे ये पसंद है। मुझे ये पसंद है।
I'll have this.
मैं यह लूंगी। मैं यह लूंगी।
I'll have time next week.
मेरे पास अगले सप्ताह समय होगा। मेरे पास अगले सप्ताह समय होगा।
I'm.
मैं हूँ। मैं हूँ।
I'm allergic to shrimp.
मुझे चिनराट से एलर्जी है। मुझे चिनराट से एलर्जी है।
I'm at home.
मैं घर पर हूँ। मैं घर पर हूँ।
I'm busy this week.
मैं इस सप्ताह व्यस्त हूँ। मैं इस सप्ताह व्यस्त हूँ।
I'm fine.
मैं ठीक हूँ। मैं ठीक हूँ।
I'm from.
मैं से हूँ। मैं से हूँ।
I'm full.
मैं पूरी भरी हुई हूँ। मैं पूरी भरी हुई हूँ।
I'm good.
मैं अच्छी हूँ। मैं अच्छी हूँ।
I'm hungry.
मुझे भूख लगी है। मुझे भूख लगी है।
I'm looking forward to working with you.
मुझे आपके साथ काम करके खुशी होगी। मुझे आपके साथ काम करके खुशी होगी।
I'm sorry I'm late.
माफ कीजिए, मुझे देर हो गई। माफ कीजिए, मुझे देर हो गई।
I'm sorry.
मुझे क्षमा करें। मुझे क्षमा करें।
Is that it?
क्या ऐसा है? क्या ऐसा है?
Is that far from here?
क्या यहां से दूर है? क्या यहां से दूर है?
Is there a near here?
क्या यहां पास में है? क्या यहां पास में है?
It was nice to meet you.
आपसे मिलकर अच्छा लगा। आपसे मिलकर अच्छा लगा।
It's difficult.
यह कठिन है। यह कठिन है।
It's okay.
ये ठीक है। ये ठीक है।
It's really good.
यह सचमुच में अच्छा है। यह सचमुच में अच्छा है।
It's sunny.
धूप है। धूप है।
It's true. यह सच है। यह सच है।
I've heard a lot about you.
मैंने आपके बारे में बहुत सुना है। मैंने आपके बारे में बहुत सुना है।
Just a minute, please.
कृपया बस 1 मिनट। कृपया बस 1 मिनट।
Long time no see.
बहुत दिनों से मुलाकात नहीं हुई। बहुत दिनों से मुलाकात नहीं हुई।
Make yourself at home.
आराम से बैठिए। आराम से बैठिए।
May I help you?
ये लीजिए। ये लीजिए।
May I sit here?
क्या मैं यहाँ बैठ जाऊं? क्या मैं यहाँ बैठ जाऊं?
My mother is well.
मेरी माँ ठीक है। मेरी माँ ठीक है।
My name is.
मेरा नाम है। मेरा नाम है।
Nice to meet you.
आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई। आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई।
No problem.
कोई बात नहीं। कोई बात नहीं।
No.
नहीं। नहीं।
Of course not.
बिल्कुल नहीं। बिल्कुल नहीं।
Of course.
बेशक। बेशक।
Once again, please.
कृपया एक बार फिर से। कृपया एक बार फिर से।
Please forgive me.
कृपया मुझे क्षमा कीजिए। कृपया मुझे क्षमा कीजिए।
Please have a seat.
कृपया बैठिए। कृपया बैठिए।
Please write it down.
कृपया इसे लिखिए। कृपया इसे लिखिए।
Please.
कृपया। कृपया।
Really?
सच में? सच में?
Same for me.
मेरे लिए भी। मेरे लिए भी।
Shut up.
चुप रहो। चुप रहो।
Slower, please.
कृपया धीरे धीरे। कृपया धीरे धीरे।
So, what's new?
तो क्या नया है? तो क्या नया है?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
माफ करना, आपको इंतजार करना पड़ा। माफ करना, आपको इंतजार करना पड़ा।
Sounds great.
अच्छा लगता है। अच्छा लगता है।
Stop here, please.
कृपया यहाँ रुकिए। कृपया यहाँ रुकिए।
Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you.
धन्यवाद। धन्यवाद।
Thanks.
धन्यवाद। धन्यवाद।
That jacket looks nice on you.
वह जैकेट आप पर जच रहा है। वह जैकेट आप पर जच रहा है।
This is for you.
यह आपके लिए है. यह आपके लिए है. This weekend I'm going to the movies.
इस सप्ताह अंत मैं फिल्म देखने जा रही हूँ. इस सप्ताह अंत मैं फिल्म देखने जा रही हूँ.
Welcome.
आपका स्वागत है. आपका स्वागत है.
We're meeting someone.
हमारा शाम 7 बजे के लिए एक आरक्षण है. हमारा शाम 7 बजे के लिए एक आरक्षण है.
What are you doing here?
तुम यहाँ क्या कर रहे हो? तुम यहाँ क्या कर रहे हो?
What are you doing this weekend?
तुम इस सप्ताह अंत क्या कर रहे हो? तुम इस सप्ताह अंत क्या कर रहे हो?
What are you doing?
आप क्या कर रहे हैं? आप क्या कर रहे हैं?
What do you do?
आप क्या करते हैं? आप क्या करते हैं?
What do you feel like eating?
आपका क्या खाने का मन हो रहा है? आपका क्या खाने का मन हो रहा है?
What do you recommend?
आप क्या सलाह देंगे? आप क्या सलाह देंगे?
What do you want?
तुम्हें क्या चाहिए? तुम्हें क्या चाहिए?
What happened?
क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ?
What time does it open?
यह किस समय खुलता है? यह किस समय खुलता है?
What time is it?
कितने बजे हैं? कितने बजे हैं?
What would you like to drink?
आप क्या पीना पसंद करेंगे? आप क्या पीना पसंद करेंगे?
What's for dinner?
रात के खाने के लिए क्या है? रात के खाने के लिए क्या है?
What's the next stop?
अगला स्टॉप क्या है? अगला स्टॉप क्या है?
What's the temperature?
तापमान क्या है? तापमान क्या है?
What's this?
यह क्या है? यह क्या है?
What's wrong?
क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ?
What's your favorite website?
आपकी सबसे पसंदीदा वेबसाइट कौन सी है? आपकी सबसे पसंदीदा वेबसाइट कौन सी है?
What's your name?
आपका नाम क्या है? आपका नाम क्या है?
When is your birthday?
आपका जन्मदिन कब है? आपका जन्मदिन कब है?
When will the plane leave?
विमान कब जाएगा? विमान कब जाएगा?
Where are we going?
हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं? हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं?
Where are you from?
आप कहाँ से हो? आप कहाँ से हो?
Where do you live?
आप कहाँ रहते हैं? आप कहाँ रहते हैं?
Where do you work?
तुम कहाँ काम करते हो? तुम कहाँ काम करते हो?
Where is it?
वह कहाँ है? वह कहाँ है?
Where is the?
कहाँ है? कहाँ है?
Where is the bathroom?
स्नान घर कहाँ है? स्नान घर कहाँ है?
Who is it?
कौन बोल रहा है? कौन बोल रहा है?
Who's going?
कौन जा रहा है? कौन जा रहा है?
Who's there?
वहाँ कौन है? वहाँ कौन है?
Why are you late?
आपको देर क्यों हुई? आपको देर क्यों हुई?
Yes, I do.
हाँ, मैं करता हूँ. हाँ, मैं करता हूँ.
Yes.
हाँ. हाँ.
You have good taste.
आपकी पसंद अच्छी है. आपकी पसंद अच्छी है.
You look gorgeous.
तुम बहुत ही सुंदर लग रही हो. तुम बहुत ही सुंदर लग रही हो.
Your smile is beautiful.
तुम्हारी मुस्कान सुंदर है. तुम्हारी मुस्कान सुंदर है.
You're handsome.
तुम सुंदर हो. तुम सुंदर हो.
You're smart.
तुम समझदार हो. तुम समझदार हो.
You're welcome.
कोई बात नहीं. कोई बात नहीं.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Venus. In this series, you will learn everything you need to know to get started learning Hindi.
That's right, and we're here to help guide you through your journey. In this lesson, you'll learn the reasons why you should start learning a new language, why you should specifically learn Hindi, and how to get started. There are countless reasons, but perhaps the biggest one of all is that it could actually change your life. Learning a new language unlocks new pathways that are off limits to you now. There are certain things that you simply cannot do without having the technical or cultural skills that come from learning a new language.
Like working or living in another country.
Knowing another language provides you with greater job opportunities. You have the freedom to move to another country halfway around the world and earn a living, or better yet, build a career from it, instead of just being stuck in one place. Language allows you to visit or live in places that you may never have even considered going. Knowing another language simply gives you more options to choose from.
And learning a new language also helps you to be more open-minded and see the world from a new perspective.
Language and culture go hand in hand. The world is a big place, and by broadening your understanding of other cultures, it allows you to be more empathetic and understanding of the many different ways that people live their lives. With language, you're able to see and experience more, which helps you grow as a person.
Learning a new language also improves your memory.
Studies have consistently shown that those who study another language have improved memory as opposed to those who didn't. Learning another language also keeps your brain healthy by significantly delaying the onset of Alzheimer's and dementia. This difference can mean as much as 4 to 5 more years of quality life.
And those are just some of the reasons you should learn another language. The list just goes on and on.
Now you know the benefits of studying another language, but why should you learn Hindi in particular?
If your next holiday destination is India, learning a little bit of Hindi can be quite handy.
Yes, Hindi is the main language of India, and if you're planning to travel to the country for pleasure or business purposes, a little bit of knowledge of the language can help make things easier for you. India is a country known for its wildlife, its art, its monuments, and its rich culture and traditions.
And don't forget the delicious food.
Yes, you can enjoy a variety of cuisines as you travel from one region to another.
And don't assume that just because India has a large number of English speakers, you will be able to move around in the country with no knowledge of Hindi.
You're absolutely right. Recent surveys have indicated that India has the second largest number of English speakers in the world, second to only the United States of America. But the percentage of English speakers is still quite low, at just 12%. This means while you'll encounter many people who can easily have a conversation with you in English, you will require some knowledge of Hindi while taking a taxi or an auto rickshaw or a bus. The knowledge of Hindi will also help you when you want to bargain and get the best possible price for the gorgeous saris and stoles or the beautiful artifacts.
It could also help you handle an emergency situation easily.
Definitely. Hopefully you won't have an emergency, but it is always a good idea to be prepared. If you know the language, you'll be able to interact more easily with the locals. Indians open their hearts and their homes to every visitor.
Atithi Devo Bhava.
That means guests are like God, and large-hearted Indians are known to welcome every guest with delicious foods and drinks, and so much love that you can't help but leave their homes with an experience to remember for a lifetime. So if India attracts you, get started by learning Hindi. But how can you actually do that?
It is best to start with a few Hindi words and then build up from there.
To begin with, there are many English words that are commonly used in India and by Hindi-speaking natives.
Yes, for example, you will see the people are likely to use the English please rather than the Hindi kripaya in spoken language.
Yes, but in written language, the Hindi word is used and not the English word. But we don't have to worry about the written script as of now. To begin with, we will be using romanization to learn a few Hindi words. Can you give us more examples of English words that are commonly used and understood in Hindi-speaking areas of India?
Yes, natives will easily understand a thank you or a goodbye or a good morning and good evening.
Or even a train or a bus.
Or even an office or computer or help or welcome.
So that makes things a lot easier for a traveler. But let's get started with some Hindi words that you can easily learn. Let's begin with a greeting.
Sure, like we said, you could easily say a hello, but you will love the smile on your host's face when you greet them with folded hands and say namaste. Namaste.
Now you try.
Fold your hands and say namaste. Namaste. You can also use namaste to say goodbye.
Oh, that's so useful. What about thank you in Hindi?
You say dhanyavad. Dhanyavad.
Now you try.
Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad.
So, how about we do a summary of the 3 words we learned in Hindi?
Hello is namaste. Thank you is dhanyavad. And goodbye is namaste.
We also learned the Hindi word for please, although we may not use it while speaking the language.
Please is kripaya.
We learned a lot of things about India and Hindi in this lesson. We learned how learning a new language can help you expand your horizons and meet new people. It can help make travel and business easier for you when in India. We also learned that there are a few English words we can use with the natives too. Of course, we also learned how to say hello and thank you in Hindi. We also learned the Hindi word for please, although we know that we should be using the Hindi word for please only in written language and not in spoken language. In the next lesson, we're going to learn a few things about Hindi pronunciation, so don't forget to join us. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Dhanyavad and namaste.
Welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Venus.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Hindi pronunciation.
Just like English, Hindi also has consonants and vowels.
Hindi has 33 main consonants and 11 vowels. If you learn the sounds of these consonants and vowels, you'll be able to pronounce every single word in Hindi.
There are also 2 additional consonants and 2 additional vowels, as well as few conjuncts, but you don't have to worry about them right now.
Yes, because once you're comfortable with the 33 main consonants and the 11 vowels, the rest will come pretty easily.
It may seem like a difficult task, but actually you already know many of these sounds in English.
So, how about we first take a look at some of the consonants in Hindi?
Yes, let's begin with some unaspirated consonants along with their aspirated counterparts.
We won't be working on the consonants in the order they occur in the Hindi alphabet system, simply because some of them are more commonly used than others. We'll take a look at these in order when we get to the lesson on writing.
Hindi consonants are known as Vyanjan.
Yes, you're already familiar with many of them because the sounds already exist in English or are quite similar to certain sounds in English.
For example, the first consonant in Hindi is K, which is similar to the English letter K.
But the next one doesn't exist in English.
Yes, this one is K. When you say it without aspiration, you get K. But when you say it with aspiration, it becomes K.
Interesting. But let me first explain what aspirated and unaspirated sounds are. In very simple words, we can say that aspirated sounds are spoken with a burst of air, and an unaspirated sound isn't.
For example, the sound of the letter H in the English word hat. Saying this sound involves a forceful expulsion of air. Try it yourself. Ha.
Ha.
In Hindi, when you say K, there is no forceful expulsion of air. But when you say K, you will feel yourself expelling the air from your mouth. Try it yourself and see the difference. K, K. Next, let's take a look at G, which is the same as the sound of the letter G in the English word game. Yes, when you say G without aspiration, you get G. But when you say it with aspiration, you get G.
Yes, that's the next consonant. It works the same way for some other consonants too.
Yes, like Ch is the same as the CH in the English word chain without aspiration. When you say Ch with aspiration, it becomes Ch. Similarly, we have J and J, T and Th, D and Dh, T and Th, D and Dh, P and P, B and Bh.
But what about the other consonants?
Definitely, that doesn't complete our list of consonant sounds. Now, let's take a look at some of the other consonants and how they sound. Let's first take a look at the consonant H. It sounds like the letter H in the English word hug. We also have Y, which is like the sound of the letter Y in the English word yak.
There are 2 letters that sound like the SH in the English word share.
Yes, these are sh and sh. They sound the same when spoken. We will use the small letter s to denote them both from now on. We also have a sound that is similar to the English letter s, like in the word sun. This is s. This one is s, and we will use the capital S from now on when we refer to it.
Okay, what's next?
We also have N. N is just the sound of the English letter N. R is the same as the sound of the letter R in rat. L is the same as the sound of the letter L in lamb. M is the same as the sound of the letter M in marsh. V is the same as the sound of the letter W in work.
Are there any other consonants in Hindi that we haven't discussed?
We also have N.
This may seem to be a difficult sound as it doesn't exist in English.
Just try saying N, but roll back your tongue slightly. N.
But aren't we still missing two consonants?
Yes, we are. We also have N and N. But we don't have to worry much about them since they aren't used alone ever.
So now that we've taken a look at the consonants, how about we take a quick look at the vowels too?
The Hindi vowels are known as swar.
There are 11 main vowels in Hindi, and most of them are the same as in English.
For example, A is like the sound of the letter A in the English word apply. A is like the sound of the letter A in the word father. E is like the letter I in tin. E is like the letters E in C. Then we have U, which is like the letter U in put. And U is like the sound of the letters O in room. A is like the A in May. A is like the sound of the letter A in hat. We also have O and O. O sounds like the O in box, and O sounds like the letters AW in sa. We also have another vowel which is Ri, something like the RI in riddle. We actually learned a word in the last lesson which uses Ri, kripaya, which means please.
Indeed. So, how are vowels used in Hindi?
Hindi vowels can be used alone or in the form of a matra or vowel signs where it modifies a consonant. A good example where both the forms can be used in a single word is the Hindi word acha, meaning good or okay. Acha. A. The first letter A is a standalone form of the vowel A. Cha. But if you see the matra at the end, after the letter ch, the vowel A here is modifying the consonant ch. This means that the sound now becomes ch plus a, cha. Let's see how the vowels modify the consonant k. It can become ka, ki, ku, ke, ko.
That's a lot that we learned about the sounds in Hindi.
It may seem as too much to learn in the beginning, but as you continue to practice, things will get easier.
True. The best thing to do is practice, practice, and practice. In this lesson, we learned that in Hindi there are 33 consonants and 11 vowels.
Consonants are called vyanjan in Hindi and vowels are called swar.
The vowels have a standalone version, and when they're attached to a consonant, they modify its sound.
So, in the word acha, the first a is a standalone form of the vowel a, but the last vowel a appears in the form of a modifier and turns ch into cha.
Among the consonants, we realized that there are forms that are already present in English. When we say these consonants without aspiration, we get one consonant. When we say them with aspiration, we get another consonant, which generally doesn't exist in English.
For example, k is a consonant, and when we say it with aspiration, it becomes another consonant, kh.
We just learned the basics of pronunciation in Hindi in this lesson, and in the next lesson, we'll learn the basics of Hindi grammar. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Dhanyavad and namaste.
Welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Venus.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Hindi grammar.
Did you know that Hindi doesn't use articles?
Really? That means you don't have to worry about where to put a and where to add an and where to use the?
Yes. Doesn't that make things easier?
It definitely does. What about gender? How is it indicated in Hindi?
Firstly, there is no he or she in Hindi. You can use the same pronoun for both genders.
Great!
But the verbs do change depending on the gender of the person speaking and the gender of the person you are speaking to.
Oh, that is quite complicated.
Not really. It is usually quite simple. If a verb uses e at the end, it means it is feminine. But if it uses a at the end, it means it is masculine. We will go through a few examples later in this lesson to find out just how easy it is.
Also, in Hindi, there is no neutral gender. Every object is either masculine or feminine.
Yes, so an auto rickshaw is masculine and a bus is feminine.
But there isn't a need to worry about getting the gender of all objects correct in the beginning. This is something you'll catch on to as you go on learning Hindi. How about we look at an example of verbs and how they change based on gender? Let's begin with the verb to do.
Sure. In Hindi, to do is karna. If you are female, you would say karti. And if you are male, you would say karta. So, the last vowel changes. It is E for females and A for males. Yes, the same goes when you address someone. If they are female, use E at the end of the verb. And if they are male, use A at the end.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about articles, we don't have to worry about pronouns being gender-based, but we have to be concerned about verbs being based on gender?
Yes, that's right.
How about we go on and take a look at some personal pronouns now?
In Hindi, the first person singular pronoun is main.
And it doesn't matter whether you're female or male. You can use the same pronoun.
Yes, the first person plural pronoun is hum.
While there's only one first person singular pronoun in Hindi, there are 3 second person singular pronouns, right?
Yes, they are tu, tum and aap. Tu is used in a very informal way, something you will use with a very close friend. Tum is also informal, but not as much as tu. It is something you may want to use with a friend, a close colleague, your kids, your siblings, or even your spouse. But aap is the formal form of address. It is something that you would like to use at your office while addressing your parents, strangers, or your elders. The interesting thing is that you can use tum and aap as the second person plural too. But generally, a word like all or people is added to tum and aap to make the second person plural. So, you could say tum log or aap log, where log means people. Or you could say tum sab or aap sab, where sab means all.
Good. So we learned 2 more words here, for people and all.
Yes, log means people and sab means all. Let's check the third person singular now. For he, she, it, this, we use ye. And for he, she, it, that, we use veh. The plural will be ye for these and veh for those.
So, how about we try and make some sentences now?
Sure, we can. But before we actually go on to forming sentences, we will need to know a little more about the various forms of the verb to be.
Of course, to be is an important verb not only in Hindi but also in English. Without knowing about how to use it, it's very difficult to form sentences. Imagine having no am, are, were, was, have, or has in English. There would be no sentences. So what is to be in Hindi?
It is hona.
How would we say I am in Hindi?
For I am, hona changes to हूँ. मैं हूँ. We are becomes हम. हम हैं. Where होना changes to है. With तुम you use हैं, and तुम you use हो, and with आप you use है.
That means the to be form is the same for plural and for respectful address.
Yes, it is हैं.
Does it change depending on whether a man speaks or a woman?
No, it doesn't. We have 3 versions of होना, and these are हूँ, हैं, हैं.
Great! So now we can make a sentence.
Definitely.
How would you say, I am Alicia?
That would be मैं Alicia हूँ. So, the order of the words is I, Alicia, am, or pronoun, noun, verb.
That means, unlike English, the noun comes before the verb in Hindi.
Yes, indeed.
Let's try out a few more sentences. How about, I am good? How would we say that in Hindi?
मैं अच्छा हूँ if you are male. मैं अच्छी हूँ if you are female. Did you notice how for males the word good becomes अच्छा and for females it becomes अच्छी?
Yes, indeed. What about the plural version of the Hindi word for good?
That would be अच्छे. This would also be used if you are using a respectful address for a male. आप अच्छे हैं. Generally, the respectful form when addressing males is the same as the plural version.
That makes things quite simple. But good is an adjective. Does that mean that all adjectives also change depending on the gender?
Not always, but sometimes they do. You will pick this up as you practice the language more and more.
Okay, but what about past tense?
Was becomes था, or थे, or थी.
So, how would you say, how are you?
आप कैसे हैं? और आप कैसी हैं?
And how would you answer that?
मैं अच्छा हूँ if you are male, और मैं अच्छी हूँ if you are female.
Wow, we learned a lot about Hindi grammar today. Let's recap what we've learned in this lesson. In this lesson, we learned that there are no articles in Hindi. The pronouns are not gender-based, but the verbs are never neutral. They're always masculine or feminine. We also learned that you can use 3 variations of the word you, depending on whether you want to use a formal, informal, or a little more informal version. We also learned how the verb to be changes depending on whether the sentence is singular, plural, formal, or informal. And of course, we also learned how to say, how are you? And how to answer this very important question. We just learned the basics of Hindi grammar. In the next lesson, we'll learn the basics of Hindi writing. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
धन्यवाद and namaste.
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Venus.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Hindi writing.
To begin with, Hindi is written in Devanagari script.
Is it written from right to left or left to right?
Hindi is written from left to right, just like English. There is another interesting thing about Hindi, which is different from English.
What is that?
Hindi is a phonetic language. This means that it is written as it is spoken. In English, Some of the spellings can be quite confusing for a learner. For example, the sound of the letter C in city is the same as the sound of the letter S in sit. At the same time, the sound of the letter C in city is different from the sound of the letter C in cup.
For someone who knows English, this isn't a difficult thing. But if you're learning the language, this can be confusing indeed while reading and writing.
But in Hindi, you don't have to worry about these things. If the sound is ka, you write k. If the sound is ku, you write ku.
This makes it quite easy to learn the script, doesn't it?
Yes, once you know the consonant and vowels, you can easily begin to read the script.
What about the punctuation marks? Are they different from English?
In Hindi, we use the same punctuation marks as in English. This means you use the same commas and question marks, so nothing to worry about. However, the Hindi full stop is different from the English full stop.
Really? How do we make the Hindi full stop?
It appears like a vertical or standing line at the end of the sentence and is called a Purna Viram. Take this sentence, for example, written in Hindi script, मैं ठीक हूँ. Notice the vertical line at the end of the sentence. This is the Hindi full stop.
This one seems quite easy to make too.
Yes, indeed.
So, how about we go on to how the Hindi alphabets are written? In a previous lesson, we learned that Hindi has 33 consonants and 11 vowels.
You are absolutely correct. And we also learned most of the consonants during our pronunciation lesson.
How about we take a quick look at them and then go on to see how vowels modify the sounds of these consonants?
Sure. Here they are. K, K, G, Gh, N, Ch, Ch, J, Jh, N, T, Th, D, D, N, T, Th, D, Th, N, P, P, B, B, M, Y, R, L, V, Sh, Ksh, S, H.
Okay, great. The best way to learn the script is to practice reading and writing it as much as you can.
Yes, indeed.
So, how do vowels generally appear in Hindi script?
Let's start with how they are written individually. Here they are. A, I, U, U, E, O, Ri.
How do they appear when they're attached to a consonant?
Let's take a few words that use these vowels in the form of matras. Work, calm. See the vertical line between the letters K and M. This is the vowel A and is called A ki matra or matra of A. Whenever you notice this vertical line added to a consonant, you add the vowel A to that consonant. So, K becomes Ka. Let's try another. How much? Kitna. See this matra on the letter K? That is called choti e ki matra or E or matra of the small E. Whenever you see this matra on a consonant, add the vowel sound to the consonant and say it. So, K becomes Ki. Let's look at another word. Cat, Billy. See this matra on the letter L? This is called the badi E ki matra or E or matra of the big E. Here, L becomes Li. Here's another word. Dog, Kutta. Notice this matra on the letter K. This is the choti U ki matra or U or matra of the small U. This matra makes K, Ku. Let's now look at shoe, juta. This matra below the letter J is the badi U ki matra or U or matra of the big U. This matra makes J, Ju. Now let's take apple, सेब. The matra above the letter s is called the choti a की मात्रा और a or matra of the small a. This matra changes s to se. Let's now take the word for money. Money, paisa. The matra above the letter p is called the badi a की मात्रा or a or matra of the big a. This changes p to pa. Now, let's take a look at o and au. Gold, sona. The matra on the letter s is called the chote o की मात्रा or o or matra of the small o. This matra changes s to so. Who, कौन. The matra on the letter k is called the badi o की मात्रा or o or matra of the big o. This matra modifies the sound of k to ko. The vowel ri appears slightly differently. Let's take a word we learnt in the first lesson. Please, kripya. This matra below the letter k is called the ri ki matra or the matra of ri.
What else is there that we should know about the Hindi script?
There are two more things you will often notice in the Hindi script, and that's called the anuswar and the chandrabindu.
What does that look like?
The anuswar appears as a dot, and the chandrabindu is the moon dot. Notice the small dot along with the vowel a in ma or I. This is the anuswar, and when it occurs at the end of the word, it nasalizes the vowel. When the dot appears before a letter in the middle of the word, it nasalizes the sound of that consonant. Let's check out the word for color, rang. Here the anuswar makes it sound like the ng in the English word song. The chandrabindu is no different than the anuswar, and it works very similarly to it by nasalizing the vowel above which it is placed. For example, clocks, ghadiyan. Here the chandrabindu can be seen above the last vowel a.
In this lesson, we learned how the Hindi full stop appears, and we also came to know that Hindi is a phonetic language and is spoken exactly as it's written. That makes things quite easy. We also learned how the consonants look and how the vowels look individually when they're attached to a consonant, and how their nasalized versions appear in written Hindi. We just learned the basics of Hindi writing. In the next lesson, we'll teach you some basic phrases in Hindi. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Dhanyawad and namaste.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Hindi. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Venus.
In this lesson, we'll focus on teaching you the most useful Hindi words and phrases for absolute beginners.
Make sure you're repeating the words out loud after I say the examples.
Are you ready? Let's get started. The best phrase to learn when studying a new language is one that expresses gratitude and appreciation. If you had to learn only a single phrase, this would be it.
We taught you this phrase in the first lesson of this series. Do you remember what it was?
It's
Dhanyawad.
Repeat it.
Dhanyawad.
Once more.
Dhanyawad.
Okay, but how about if we want to say thank you very much?
Then you would say Aapka bahut dhanyawad. Let me break this down for you. Aapka, your. Bahut, very. Dhanyawad, thanks. Aapka bahut dhanyawad. You can even say Aapka bahut bahut dhanyawad.
The next phrase we'll teach you is perhaps the second most useful phrase of all. It's to apologize or excuse yourself.
Firstly, Indians often use the English word sorry in their spoken language.
That's quite a useful bit of information for someone who's traveling to India.
Yes, indeed. So, you can easily use that word too. But here is the Hindi version of sorry. Maaf karna. Maaf karna. You can use this phrase to apologize as well as to excuse yourself. Add the word mujhe and you will get I am sorry.
Repeat after Venus.
मुझे माफ करना.
Once more.
मुझे माफ करना.
Try again.
मुझे माफ करना.
That was quite easy, wasn't it? Let's try both phrases once more. Thank you very much.
आपका बहुत धन्यवाद. आपका बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you very very much. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Okay, now let's try I'm sorry.
For sorry, we use the word माफ करना. माफ करना. माफ करना. मुझे माफ करना. मुझे माफ करना.
Now you can say thank you very much, excuse me, and I'm sorry in Hindi. Let's move on. Asking where something is an incredibly important and useful phrase to learn. You're going to need this when asking where the bathroom, the train station, or where the hotel is. But first, let's find out what the Hindi word for where is.
The Hindi word for where is kahan. Kahan.
How would we say where is the bathroom in Hindi?
We would say bathroom kahan hai.
You use the English word for bathroom.
Yes, indeed. That's because Indians often use the English word. But you could also learn the Hindi word for bathroom, which is शौचालय.
Let's try this again.
Bathroom कहाँ है? Bathroom कहाँ है? शौचालय कहाँ है? शौचालय कहाँ है? If you notice, the sequence of words here is bathroom, bathroom, where, कहाँ, is, है.
Does that sequence work with most things? For example, asking for the bus or train station?
Yes. Just put what you are looking for first, follow it up with kahan, and then add hai.
Okay, let's try this again.
Bathroom kahan hai? Bathroom kahan hai?
How about we learn some of the common words you may need to ask for while moving around in India?
Well, let me first tell you about the English words you can easily use.
That would be great.
Hotel, train station, bus stop, taxi, metro station, museum.
How would you say shop?
Shop is also commonly understood by Indians, but you could ask for dukan. For example, if you want to ask for a pharmacy, or more commonly known as a chemist shop in India, you could say दवाई की दुकान कहाँ है?
How about we try that again?
दवा की दुकान कहाँ है?
Once more.
दवा की दुकान कहाँ है?
In this lesson, you learned how to say thank you very much, sorry, and I'm sorry. You also learned how to ask where something is.
Throughout this Hindi Introduction Guide series, you learn about the alphabets, the script, the basics of Hindi grammar and pronunciation.
Let's conclude with some parting advice from Venus and listen to some of her tips on how to learn Hindi from a native Hindi perspective.
Whenever you learn a new language, the best way to get better at it is to practice and practice. This applies to Hindi too. One of the best ways to learn spoken Hindi is to watch Hindi movies and TV shows. This helps you learn Hindi words and sentences quickly and easily. Practice pronouncing some of the easier words first, and then you can go on to some of the difficult words as well. Learn to read Hindi by spending time studying some newspapers or magazines written in the language. If you spend just an hour a day or even 30 minutes a day learning Hindi, within a month you can become quite fluent in it.
Good luck as you continue learning Hindi, and we'll see you in another video. Bye!
Dhanyavad and namaste.
Want to speak real Hindi from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HindiPod101.com. You are at a bus terminal where you're heading to a special hotel to check in for the first time. According to an email you received, what are the things that you need to provide to the staff at this special hotel? According to an email you received, what are the things that you need to provide to the staff at this special hotel? The email says that you need to provide your confirmation number and your passport details.
पुष्टिकरण संख्या, पासपोर्ट विवरण.
You are at a bus terminal where you are waiting for your bus. There's a notice posted at the bus stop about a new bus route that will be introduced next year. What is the main advantage of this new bus route? What is the main advantage of this new bus route? The introduction of the new bus eases congestion for each bus on the 301 route.
नई बस 301 बस के रूट पे हर एक बस की भीड़ को कम करेगी.
You just got off a bus at the closest stop to your friend's new house, where he's invited you to a party. Which direction should you head to get to your friend's new house? Which direction should you head to get to your friend's new house? Although the East Road would have normally been the closest road, it's currently under construction, so you should take the South Road instead.
दक्षिण वाला रास्ता लें.
You are at a bus terminal where you're heading to the police office to retrieve a lost passport. According to a postcard you received from the police office, what are the things that you need to provide to the police? What are the things that you need to provide to the police? The postcard says that you need to present proof of identification and to pay a small fee.
पहचान का प्रमाण, एक छोटा सा शुल्क.
You are exiting a bus terminal when a big notice posted on the bus stop catches your attention. The notice highlights permanent changes made to the bus schedule. How will buses on Fridays be affected? How will buses on Fridays be affected? Buses on Fridays will now start at 6 a.m. and will end at 1 a.m.
सुबह 6 बजे शुरू होगी और रात को 1 बजे समाप्त.
Suddenly you get bad abdominal pain and decide to buy some medicine. What are the instructions regarding the recommended dosage on the label? What are the instructions regarding the recommended dosage on the label? The label says that daily dosage 2 pills per day after eating.
दैनिक खुराक, खाने के बाद प्रतिदिन 2 गोलियां.
Your condition is not getting better, and you decide to go to the nearby clinic. You receive a medical report. What is the diagnosis? You receive a medical report. What is the diagnosis? The diagnosis is food poisoning caused by contaminated food.
दूषित भोजन के कारण भोजन विषाक्तता।
You just bought a few items from a local shop online. What information does the website say about the delivery date? What information does the website say about the delivery date? The website says that delivery dates differ depending on the delivery method, but all dates should be calculated from the next working day.
डिलीवरी की तिथियां डिलीवरी पद्धति के आधार पर भिन्न होती हैं, लेकिन सभी तिथियों की गणना अगले कार्य दिवस से की जानी चाहिए।
The day after ordering an item online, you receive an email notification. How can you track your package? How can you track your package? The email says that you can track your package on this website by logging into your account, and after logging in, click on your order history and enter the order number found in this email.
आप अपने खाते में प्रवेश करके इस वेबसाइट पर अपने पैकेज को ट्रैक कर सकते हैं। प्रवेश करने के बाद अपने ऑर्डर इतिहास पर क्लिक करें और इस ईमेल में मिले ऑर्डर नंबर को दर्ज करें।
You're reading the instructions of an electronic device you've just bought. What should you do in case of overheating? What should you do in case of overheating? The manual says that if you notice the surface overheating, unplug the device immediately and allow it to cool down before handling again.
यदि आप सतह को ज़्यादा गर्म होता हुआ पाते हैं तो डिवाइस को तुरंत अनप्लग करें और फिर से हाथ लगाने से पहले ठंडा होने दें।
Want to speed up your language learning? Get access to all of our best PDF cheat sheets for free. Just click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now.
I'm sorry. मुझे क्षमा करें. मुझे क्षमा करें.
Don't worry.
चिंता न करें. चिंता न करें.
It's okay.
ये ठीक है. ये ठीक है.
Please.
कृपया. कृपया.
Please forgive me. कृपया मुझे क्षमा कीजिए. कृपया मुझे क्षमा कीजिए.
I really appreciate it.
वास्तव में मैं इसकी सराहना करती हूँ। वास्तव में मैं इसकी सराहना करती हूँ।
Thank you.
धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद.
You're welcome.
कोई बात नहीं। कोई बात नहीं।
Make yourself at home.
आराम से बैठिए। आराम से बैठिए।
Hello.
नमस्ते. नमस्ते.
Good morning.
सुप्रभात. सुप्रभात.
Goodbye.
अलविदा. अलविदा.
Long time no see.
बहुत दिनों से मुलाकात नहीं हुई। बहुत दिनों से मुलाकात नहीं हुई।
Good evening.
शुभ संध्या. शुभ संध्या.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
माफ करना आपको इंतजार करना पड़ा. माफ करना आपको इंतजार करना पड़ा.
Wait a moment.
यात्रा के लिए. यात्रा के लिए.
Hello?
व्यस्त फोन लाइन. व्यस्त फोन लाइन.
Awesome.
बहुत प्रभावशाली। बहुत प्रभावशाली।
Delicious.
स्वादिष्ट. स्वादिष्ट.
I like it.
मुझे यह पसंद है। मुझे यह पसंद है।
I don't like it.
मुझे ये पसंद नहीं है. मुझे ये पसंद नहीं है.
How are you?
आप कैसे हैं? आप कैसे हैं?
Nice to meet you.
आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई. आपसे मिलकर खुशी हुई.
I'm good.
मैं अच्छी हूँ. मैं अच्छी हूँ.
What time is it?
कितने बजे हैं? कितने बजे हैं?
Help.
मदद करो. मदद करो.
Really?
सच में? सच में?
Slower, please.
कृपया धीरे धीरे कृपया धीरे धीरे
I don't understand.
मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा
Once again, please.
कृपया एक बार फिर से कृपया एक बार फिर से
It's difficult.
यह कठिन है यह कठिन है
How have you been?
आप कैसे हैं आप कैसे हैं
This is for you.
यह आपके लिए है यह आपके लिए है
What's your phone number?
आपका फ़ोन नंबर क्या है आपका फ़ोन नंबर क्या है
How old are you?
आपकी उम्र कितनी है आपकी उम्र कितनी है
Where are you from?
आप कहाँ से हो आप कहाँ से हो
What is it?
वह क्या है वह क्या है
Do you have any identification?
क्या आपके पास कोई पहचान पत्र है क्या आपके पास कोई पहचान पत्र है
Ready to start?
क्या आप तैयार हो क्या आप तैयार हो
We'll give you a call.
हम आपको कॉल करेंगे हम आपको कॉल करेंगे
I'll leave it up to you.
आपको जैसे ठीक लगे आपको जैसे ठीक लगे
Is the water too cold?
क्या पानी बहुत ठंडा है क्या पानी बहुत ठंडा है
Is this your first time with us?
क्या आप यहाँ पहली बार आ रहे हैं क्या आप यहाँ पहली बार आ रहे हैं
It takes 3 to 5 business days.
3 से 5 व्यावसायिक दिन लगेंगे 3 से 5 व्यावसायिक दिन लगेंगे
Could I have a statement, please?
क्या एक स्टेटमेंट मिल सकता है क्या एक स्टेटमेंट मिल सकता है
I'd like to exchange money.
मैं पैसे एक्सचेंज करना चाहती हूँ मैं पैसे एक्सचेंज करना चाहती हूँ
I'd like to make a withdrawal.
मैं पैसे निकालना चाहती हूँ मैं पैसे निकालना चाहती हूँ
Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.